Hello, I'm Andrew, and this is my Series 3 of the weekly podcasts 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. These podcasts build confidence and know-how. Consequently, they can help you achieve happiness at work. By the way, that's also the title of my book, available at Amazon and from the book's website, My Happiness at Work. Now for today's episode in Series 3. This is episode 31 in Series 3, 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. Today's episode is about resisting routines, staying flexible and not acting like a robot. Work and private life suffered when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. For example, 1 in 3 German and Swiss employees complained that their work and private lives had worsened due to the crisis. Short-time work, which was enforced on them, had terrible effects. A sudden change to established routines can have far-reaching consequences for health and organizational stability. Routines can screw up lives. We get so comfortable with familiar tasks and welcome the stability and predictability. We gain assurance from the unchanging nature of routines and know what comes next. So while routines can feel beneficial, too many of them in combination can be a career killer. A routine may shut out fresh thinking. Repetition can dull our senses, reduce alertness, and cause severe distress. Why do routines happen? Well, habits activate the brain's reward system. When we complete a routine, our brain releases dopamine, reinforcing the behavior. No wonder we cling to routines. Routines are the familiar grooves of our daily lives. Routines are the familiar grooves of our daily lives. They can profoundly shape our existence, and there's a whole neuroscience explaining the impact of routines. Automatic habits start in the brain as unconscious choices. Gradually, they reinforce our brain circuits. By relentlessly repeating actions, they become automatic. For example, once you learn to brush your teeth, you do it because it's a habit. The neuroscience of routines reveals that our conscious choices accumulate to create brain circuits. What may start as a conscious choice can evolve into brain circuits that link and shape behaviors, actions, thoughts, and emotions. The more you activate these circuits, the more you strengthen them and habits emerge. For example, you may initially take on work and see it as exciting or challenging. Gradually, though, what seemed novel or inspiring may become so routine that you hardly even think about the tasks you do. Our brains love efficiency. Habits allow us to perform tasks without expending much cognitive effort. And once a behavior becomes habitual, it requires less conscious thought. As we repeat actions, neural pathways strengthen. In other words, the more we follow a routine, the more ingrained it becomes. Let's look at routine as a career killer. While routines offer stability, they can also cause stagnation and monotony, 2 potential career killers. For example, your routines may be suppressing your natural creativity. Repeating the same thing can make your brain less flexible. In contrast, novelty and creativity thrive on breaking away from the familiar. Even worse, routines can dull your emotional reactions. When life becomes too predictable, you may miss out on the highs and lows that make it colourful and pleasurable. Because routines keep you within your comfort zone, you may avoid trying new things or taking risks. Careers can founder on the rocks of routine. As a ship tossed helplessly on the ocean, you may fail to see what will keep your career from crashing into hidden rocks. For example, is AI one of those rocks that you need to learn to navigate? How do you prevent routine from turning life colourless and undermining your career? Well, in essence, you must be willing to disrupt it deliberately. For example, try new activities, explore different paths, and challenge your brain. Break the mould. Yes, your routines provide stability, but balance them with novelty and spontaneity. Life's richness lies in the interplay between the familiar and the unexpected. Fight the damaging effects of routine by resisting them. Locate a routine that allows you to be productive without getting in the way. To optimize a routine, Look for a middle ground with enough regularity to be helpful without becoming stultifying. There's no silver bullet to resisting the adverse effects of routine, except a willingness to try new things. Designing the best routine for you so that it does not become a career killer depends on knowing your tendencies and directing them towards greater productivity. So encourage your positive and natural tendencies. For example, if you crave variety, despite your routine work, plan time on a different project daily. Every few days, cycle between your projects and required routines. Do you feel there's no room outside your routines? If so, beware, you have a potential career killer on your hands. It's time to take stock if you're living a life of remote working, home deliveries, and unpredictable interpersonal contacts. That lifestyle can generate stress and anxiety, and uncertainty is a significant stressor and explains why a consistent routine can feel like a savior, providing stability and control. So consider how your routines affect your mood and energy levels. Let's look at strategies. There are some specific ones for combating the adverse effects of routine. First, prioritize self-care. Attack your routines and adjust them to create time for activities that nourish your being. That might mean finding space for a mindfulness session, walking outside, or talking to a friend in a relaxed environment, not just on the phone or texting. Second, start resisting routine with small steps. Celebrate your wins. A person who moves a mountain, to quote Confucius, begins by carrying away small stones. Minor changes will prevent you from becoming overwhelmed by a complete routine overhaul. For example, set aside some screen-free hours. Before bed, commit to at least an hour without screens. Third, listen to your body. We're all wired differently. Some thrive early in the morning, while others only come alive at night. Adjust your routine to complement your natural rhythm and energy levels. For example, if you're a night owl, don't force yourself to work out at 5 a.m. Embrace what feels best for you. And fourth, consult your seniors about your need to handle routines better or change the routines. Surprisingly, mid to upper level managers often resist changing the most. Many feel comfortable overseeing routines and have the most to lose in terms of power and prestige. Involving your seniors in your resistance to the deadening effects of routine, you'll find that you'll help that person too face up to what needs to change. And my final thoughts on all of this? Resisting routines doesn't mean chaos. It means staying adaptable. Embrace change, listen to your body, finding a balance that keeps you thriving without becoming a robot. And finally, keep reminding yourself and colleagues that life's beauty lies in its unpredictability. You've been listening to an episode of Series 3 of my weekly podcast, 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. You can hear the other podcasts at the 50ways.site, that's 50.site. There are nearly 100 titles and you can search for any issue that interests you. If you have any questions, you can always drop me a line from there. Also, check out my book, Happiness at Work. It's packed with great stories, compelling advice, and suggestions for tackling real issues that you can encounter at work. It's at Amazon or at the book's website, myhappinessatwork.com. There's also an audio version if you prefer listening. Join me next week for another unmissable episode in Series 3. Bye for now.